Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do my mid-month September wrap-up. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Okay, so y'all, this month been crazy. I've got 9 books to talk about today. One of them is a manga, but 8 actual full books to chat about today, and I'm so excited because your girl's done really good with the TBR, and I'm so excited to talk about so many of these books. I have already done a lot of chatting about books on my channel so far this month, but these are the official reviews. And some books I have already done a full dedicated review for, so those will all be linked. But if you've already seen some of those, there are timestamps in here for you to skip around as you would like to. That's fine. That's always fine. I just try to do that. These videos are the ones that take me the longest to kind of film, edit, get everything going, because I really want to make sure that you are watching what you want to watch. And I know, I may have already talked about some of these books in weekend vlogs, done a full spoiler-free review for already, all that stuff. So just, grab your cup of tea or coffee, whatever you like, snacks, all that good stuff, and let's just go ahead and jump right in. So the first book I want to talk about, this is not even going to be in order because I just finished a book 2 to 3 days ago that has completely blown me away. I'm still waiting on my pre-order copy to get here because reasons. I need this cover in my possession. I've already talked about it. But that is Wishtress by Nadine Brandes. And y'all, when I say this book is 5 stars, I don't just mean it's 5 stars. I mean that it's gives me all the feels whenever I've read Hunger Games for the first time or Divergent for the first time, any of those big books that you loved and are nostalgic for you, the YA fantasy, it just that, I don't know, just something about this book has just blown me away, y'all. Nadine Brandes, her writing, y'all, I can't. It's so good. And she has great storytelling, everything. Let's just go ahead. I'm gushing about this before I can even get to the review. You already know. Okay. Also, please forgive if I have several cuts in this. I am congested a little bit, so lots of sneezing going on today, but we're fine. Okay, so I may have to do some cuts, but that's okay. So, Wishtress. I got my notes right here, because my Goodreads review, because it's 9 o'clock at night on Sunday and I need my notes. So you already know I gotta have my notes. Yeah, my life. But yeah, y'all gotta stay on track because I'm because I get sidetracked. But obviously I already have. Okay, so I was blown away with this story, y'all. This storytelling, the writing style, just everything about this was perfection for me. When I say that I was so invested in the story, I was really invested. The characters are so well developed. I read this so fast. So many people have talked about how fast they've read this book, and they're right. Because you get going and it's whoa, every 20 pages, something's happening, and it's whoa, it was just an amazing fantasy read. So this is a Christian fantasy story, and I've never read anything by Nadine, but y'all, this is getting read in November. You already know. This is gonna be higher up on a priority as well. So yeah, y'all, I'm gonna tell you right now, Nadine, she got it going on. Fantasy's not even my normal genre, but it's starting to be because of books like this. Okay. So, okay, we already at 5 minutes in. All right, keep going. I've not really talked much about this on my channel, so I'm just this is gonna be a little bit lengthy, but this story really is just an amazing fantasy story. It's gonna be staying with you for a long time. It's gonna keep you on the edge of your seat. You're gonna need to know what happens next. Like I said, I feel the same type of way. The way this book has made me feel, just like I did when I first read books like The Hunger Games or any other book like that, the big time, right? Just how you felt, that excitement, that I need to know, the love for the characters, the love for the storyline. That's how I felt with this. Obviously, I give this 5 stars, but that's not the point. I feel like this is just something so special, and I need book 2 immediate, because I really hope there's going to be a book 2, but you know, if you've read the end, you know, I just feel like I need a book 2. I need to know. So I ain't even told you what this is about, okay? What am I doing? Okay, so what is this about? I need to move on. This story is about Mirth, and she is better known as the Wishtress, and basically her power is her tears can grant wishes. However, they can be very deadly when they're not used properly or precisely. Basically, in this world, people can have talents, right? So she's the Wishtress, but she was born that way. She never was at this well of talents, and this well of talents is what grants people their talents by the person drinking the water from the well. Mirth really doesn't know how to use her talent properly. She was born with this. She's honestly scared to death to even try again. She used it when she was young and didn't really know what she was doing, and some terrible things happened. Her tears have caused death to loved ones. After losing her parents, she pretty much stays with her Oma this whole time, who is helping raise her, but her Oma pretty much utilizes her for her wishes and sells them. Then a situation arises when they sell a wish, and she was trying to show her talent to someone else to prove that she was the Wishtress. Things kind of come back to bite her. It's not good. Stuff she didn't even realize was going on. And Mirth becomes cursed, okay? And the story pretty much takes off from there. She is cursed so that her next tear will kill her. If she cries at all, she gives any wishes, anything like that, she gone. So everybody's wanting a wish, basically. The king, her friends, people she loves, and in order to give a wish, she pretty much has to die. And so that's what her curse is. That's her power. That's how the story goes. And so we follow her point of view. But then we cut to Bastien. And y'all, when I say Bastien, I love this character, honey. We almost at 10 minutes. Okay, let's go. Let's go. He's the kind of character that you just love the entire time and you root for him. His talent is stopping time. He can stop time and go into what they call the stillness. When everything is stopped, they call that the stillness. Many things have happened since the last time he was in the stillness. He was in there for a while. And he's trying to pretty much recover and move on from what happened there. It was not good. Things went down. It was insane. Y'all just got to read it to find out. But it's hard for him to trust people. So Bastien kind of gets wrapped up in all this mess with the Wishtress. He ends up basically having to hunt her down. The king assigns him to hunt her down, and he soon realizes that there's more to her than meets the eye, okay? Then everything pretty much is going on wild from there. And we have all these great side characters. I was just so invested in all these characters. Like I said, this story, every other chapter something was happening. We followed Mirth's point of view, and we had Bastien's point of view. We also had a few other side characters' point of views thrown in there. But y'all, that's pretty much the story. That's what's in this story. The world building, the magic system was great. I had so much fun. This was so interesting. I promise you, y'all gonna love this. Even if you're not big into fantasy, it's easy to understand what's going on. I really feel like that. I feel like I knew what was happening. I wasn't confused in any way. It was not info dumpy at all. The characters were just so much fun. And Mirth and Bastien, of course, they're my favorite. We had a little romance in this story as well. Yes, you already know. And I loved our side characters. Anouk and Runt are my favorite. Like, we got this found family vibe going on. I don't know. The whole thing just surprised me in such a great way. It was just like this beautiful family vibe. The ending, y'all. The last 40% of this book. The last 40%. I was flipping pages. I was like, I gotta know. I loved it so much, and I finished it late at night, at midnight, right before I had to go to work the next morning. I was up. I was ready. And when I finished it at the end, I was like, I need another book. So Nadine, honey, please, please give me another book. I just can't. I need to know. There was also something really cool in this book. Like, they have these trials at the end of this. There's like all this like different trials and tribulations, and that kind of does remind you like Hunger Games vibe. Like, this book kind of gives you that vibe. Kind of reminds you of like a Katniss Peeta thing in a way, but not really. I don't know. It's hard to explain for me. I don't know. The whole thing really just gave me all the vibes I needed. Like, and the Christian allegory in this, I noticed, Like, I feel like we were pointing to Jesus in several things. And then I don't want to say exactly because I don't want to spoil anything, but I really feel like there was one thing that was going on I really felt like could point to Jesus for sure. We also had like I feel like the Holy Spirit was involved, like allegory. I feel like that was pointing back to the Holy Spirit. There were some things, and I feel like we pointed obviously to Satan and his temptation, like through in the Bible with Jesus and the temptation there, and just the fact that Satan is evil, and we had this light, there's like this light versus dark, you know, kind of thing, and good versus bad, all that stuff. I loved seeing the allegory in this. I felt like it was really good, especially after the last 50%. I felt like we really had some good allegory. So overall, this was just wonderful. The ending was superb. I was in tears so many times. I need another book. It was action-packed, and I'm very emotional. I just need a continuation. So, yeah, 5 stars. Oh, 10 stars, 5 stars, one of my favorite books of the year. I'm so thankful to Thomas Nelson for giving me an arc through NetGalley to read this, to honestly read and review. All opinions are my own, of course. You already know we have transparency on the channel, but I wanted to read this so bad. I had emailed someone at Thomas Nelson. I was so thankful that I could like get in touch with somebody because this is one of my most anticipated books. So here we are. So I'm excited that I get to share this with you all. I hope that you all will pick this up. I will leave the book link below. I've ordered my own copy. I bought my own copy because it needs to be on my shelf so I can show y'all that beautiful cover, because look how beautiful it is. You already know. Yeah, this was just great, and I cannot wait to read more Nadine Brandes. So yeah, okay, so after all that, we have 15 minutes, 14 minutes, and now we're going to move into the next book. So that's one I just recently finished. It's recent in my feels. I just had to share that first, so that's the first book that y'all hear me talk about. Now we're going to go into, I guess I'm going to switch gears and go back to what I read the first of the month, just so I can like be in order here. So the first book that I read, where is it? Okay, we got them up here. There are some up here. A lot of these I've already talked about, so I'm going to try to be really brief. Spy Family book 5. I did finish this one. I give this one 3 out of 5. Obviously, this is The Weird Brother, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this. I just was like, I still love this series, but sometimes Spy Family can be hit or miss on the editions or volumes, whatever you want to call it. This one was kind of a miss, but it was hilarious. Anya is so funny throughout this, so she's the star of the show again, as usual. And so if you ain't read Spy Family, basically, you, like I said before, you've got the telepath, you got a spy and an assassin, and they have family, and things go crazy. We're just seeing all the shenanigans, and I love it. So I am gonna try to get up to date with the series this month, just because we've only got like 3 left. Book 6, 7 I have on my shelf, and then 8 is coming in the mail this week actually, tomorrow on Tuesday. So not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. You might see this video on Monday or Tuesday. So the 20th is when that comes out. So I'll be reading it. But there was a lot of fun stuff going on, but some weird stuff too. And yeah. So I still recommend Spy Family. I like it. It's a young adult, older teen is what it's rated for. Many people have asked about the rating. So yeah. So that was just a minute on that. The next book that I read after that, let's see, got my Goodreads over here because, you know, you're going to need notes. The next book I read was a disappointment. I did talk about this in a vlog already, but The Bride of Blackfriars Lane by Michelle Greep. I loved book 1, but unfortunately book 2 was just a disappointment for me. I gave it 2.5 stars. I felt like we had too much of Jackson and Kit. Like, they were just arguing the whole time for the most of the book, and I didn't love all like the romantic, like, I don't know, is it banter, angst? I don't know what you call it, but there was just a lot of issues there, and I just wanted more of like Jackson and Kit working together in the mystery. So basically in the story, you're following Jackson and Kit on their journey in their marriage. I mean, you know from the title what's going on. Trying to see, are they going to end up reconciling their differences? Kit wants to help Jackson try to solve a family mystery for him. As she's working through that though, she like uncovers some crazy stuff throughout that process, more than she is bargaining for. And so it's like, are they going to be able to work everything out? Will they solve these mysteries? They kind of got their own thing going on, their separate thing. And so like, I like the faith content. Obviously the faith content in this is really good. The writing style's great. The mystery, you know, it was interesting enough to try to figure out. And I really liked the ending and how it was wrapped up in general. However, mostly through the story, we just had so much of them fighting back and forth. They were supposed to be in love, but it's like, are they really? You know, there was so much miscommunication and misunderstanding. So ultimately, I was left disappointed. Won't go into much more than that. I felt like the storyline was good, but other than that, you know, that took me out of the story way too many times. So I give this 2.5 stars. I still like Michelle Greed. I can't wait to pick up Lost in Darkness. That's our book club this month, book club pick this month. So, you know, I'm going to pick that up in the next week or two, just to get it done before the end of the month. And then I'll share a video with my thoughts on it as well. Just a separate video on that. But I got this as an ARC through NetGalley. So Barber Publishing does publish this. So I appreciate them letting me honestly read and review this. I still recommend y'all reading the first book because that was a lot of fun. But the second one, like I said, it was just a little disappointing. So yeah, 2.5 stars there. So the next book that I read was Not Sent to You by Dulcie Dameron. This was a copy provided to me by the author to honestly read and review. She was so sweet, and her package was just such a beautiful package. I think I opened it on camera to y'all. She had like really cute candies and everything, and like a bookmark, and she even sent me this, sorry if I can get it in here, this cute cross with scripture. So yeah, I just think she's a wonderful person, and I just love that she also signed her book when she sent it to me. You know, just so kind. And this is a Christian second chance romance, I will say. And I did talk about this in my vlog, and I had like a lot of thoughts throughout, a lot of emotions on the up and downs. But yeah, let's go ahead and just let me tell you what this is about. Like I said, it's a second chance romance set in a small town. So I love anything with small town vibes, and I like second chance romances usually. I overall enjoyed this. I give this 3.5 stars. I had a little bit of a hard time connecting with the characters throughout the story. I was kind of in and out with them, but overall I think the faith content in this is really great. I really liked how it ended, but just had a hard time connecting with some of our characters. This is about Claudia Clark. She's pretty much guarded her heart for the last 8 years after her young love, Dorian Vance, left. And we don't know why he left. And I think that's why at the beginning I was like, why did he go? What was going on here? You know, like I really wanted to know, but like you didn't know. And it was like there was this big thing about why did he leave? And so she pretty much was like, he left, the relationship gone. I mean, why is he back? You know, he comes back to the small town, and the reason he comes back is mostly he wants to see her, but his mother is also sick. So he's coming back for his mother's sickness, and there's all these things going on with his mother. But he also is looking to resurrect the old ghosts. I think that's what it says in the back here. Yeah, it does say that. Okay. He's just trying to resurrect these old ghosts that lay there in his past with Claudia. He really wants to start over with Claudia, but she's not really sure if this is the best thing for her. Like, she's just like, I don't know about him because he left and all this stuff. And I don't know if they ever communicated about it really, but he gone. And so she's just been still angry with him all this time. And you're just kind of like wondering, are they going to reconcile their differences? Yes, no, that kind of thing. And so when I do like a 3.5 star review, I always talk about what I liked and what I didn't like, you know. And so what I liked in this, I really thought that this had a wonderful faith content. We had some prayers, church discussions, worship music. The characters were like, you know, really thinking about what's God's plan and all that stuff. It was just great. There's also, like I said, a sweet small town vibes. I love that. Second chance romance, yes. Dorian's heart for his mom was just so sweet. I absolutely adored that. That relationship there, just my heart. And the ending was really sweet. And the ending is what put this at a 3.5 for me. It was kind of like 3, but I give it another half because, like, when I ended up crying, like, at the end of this. And when a book makes you emotional, hey, you already know. And so when I found out why Dorian left, y'all, I was tearing up, okay? So yeah, I really liked the ending of this. I thought it was good. I felt like we had some really great redemption stories here from the past of Claudia and Dorian. I liked their story together in general, and how they got to know Christ and how they learned forgiveness and all that stuff. But what I didn't like so much was, like I said, I just didn't connect with them in general as much as I hoped to. Some of the stuff, like Dorian, was almost a little bit over the top for me. Like, I just didn't care about him as much because I felt like he was over the top a lot of times, like very pushy with her. And I mean, I get he was like trying to like win her back, but it's a little unrealistic, you know. Claudia's mom was like bothering me in this a lot. She was so just like, no. She was really just putting me off. And so I just don't like that she didn't keep her daughter's promises and some other things there. So I didn't love her. But overall, this is a cute second chance romance, and I am going to continue on. She did send me book 2. And my friend Catherine, her Instagram is Adventures in Paper, and she really liked this one as well. So I do plan on reading it. It's a cute novella. So yeah, I do plan on reading that as well. Probably be really cute to read in the spring. And I think she had another book that recently come out after that. So this is like a Rivers Hollow is the area. So that's kind of like the series, you know. So yeah. 3.5 stars, pretty cute. We're 25 minutes in, we ain't even, okay. This is why I'm doing mid-month wrap-ups now, y'all, because too many books. The next book I've already talked a lot about on my channel, so I'm going to be like as brief as I can. I keep saying it, but am I really? Okay. You already know. Hold on, get my notes out of here. Beneath the Bending Skies, Jane Kirkpatrick. Love this. Thank you, Baker Publishing, for sending me this to honestly read and review. Y'all already know. I did a whole video about this, so if you already watched that, you know everything about this, feel free to skip, but, you know, just real fast. For the sake of the review, this mid-month wrap-up, we're going to talk about it again. So, this is a beautiful, uplifting story all about Molly Ronan. It's, like, really atmospheric. It's about a real person, y'all. I already talked about, I don't know, I feel like I already talked so much about this, but she's a real, like, historical figure. In the 1800s, Montana, we have some, I think we're in Colorado, California, we're kind of all out west here. It's during the gold rush time period, so there's a lot of different things going on then. But this is, like I said, it's all about Molly, and her full name was Mary Catherine Molly Sheehan Ronan. So, lots of names. And her hair was so long. If y'all seen in that video, a lot of y'all was like, wow, her hair was so long. Because I found her Found a Grave site, and I thought that was really cool. So I just love, like, a lot of people talk about Jane Kirkpatrick writing about real historical figures, and I've got to read more of her books. Kind of like that Oregon Trail vibe as well is in here. And a lot of her other books are like that too. We've got prairie settings, gold rush time period, details surrounding Native American culture, and just learning about a notable historical figure. I loved it so much. We basically have, like, this book is in 2 sections. We have the first half is all about Molly's young life, and then the last half is about her older life, like as an adult, or close to an adult, maybe 16, 17 years old. I think she might have been 17, 18, I can't remember exactly. I think she was 17, either way, around that age. And so the first part is more so with her family, her father. Her mother dies when she's 6 years old, so her father and Molly just pretty much, they go somewhere else, and he ends up leaving her with another family. He goes off. She don't know if he's coming back. This is like my shortened version. She don't know if he's coming back, and when he does come back eventually, it's like he married to someone else. Her name's Anne, and they have a kid together, and so she's pretty much got a new family at this point. But Anne becomes her Ma Anne, and it was beautiful. Loved Ma Anne. Loved seeing her just grow with Ma Anne. It was wonderful. There's like, they keep packing up and moving around because of financial issues. He's like following the gold rush period, and he is very protective of Molly. He is so like, almost like overstepping boundaries as she gets older with her and all these things. And so Molly falls in love with Peter Ronan, and he says, the dad's like, you're too young, you can't get married. Everybody agrees. They wait for each other, and he still says he don't want her to get married, and she's like, look, I'm grown. This is my version here, short version, but she basically says, I'm grown. And so he's like upset that she leaves and gets married and all this stuff, and she basically starts her life with Peter. And so that's the last half of the book, is her getting married and all that stuff. And that's all pretty much on the back here. We know this is going to be about Peter and her getting married. We know this is about her and her father at the beginning. That's not spoiler, so we know about that. But all the things, basically the reason I love this is I loved everything that Molly went through. She was so caring to other people. She was just a great character, and I just loved learning. It was so historically rich. I was on this reservation, like helping them, and just everything about her being a wife, a daughter, just coming into her own, being her true self, and standing up for herself as well. And I just think you all need to read this. So that's all I can say. Or just huge review. I did a whole video on it. You already know. So if you've watched this, thank you for watching if you've already watched the other part. But if you've not seen my full video review on this book, is definitely more in depth. I will link it in the card. So yeah, 5 stars. Pick this up. Thank you, Baker Publishing. Love it, love it, love it. So So the next book I talked a little bit about in a vlog, but I said, hey, I want to like talk more about this later. So the next book is Still My Forever by Kim Vogel-Sawyer, and I had a good time with this. I rated this 4 stars. I had this on NetGalley, so I don't have a physical copy, but it was so great to read. It's a very sweet second chance historical romance set in 1905 in a Kansas Mennonite community of Russian immigrants. Our main characters are Gil and Ava, and they were previously engaged. This is wild. They were previously engaged, but Gil, he had left to pursue his dreams to New York City. He left Kansas to go to New York City because of his passion for music, his dreams, his love for music, all that stuff. But Gil has come back. In this story, Gil's come back to Kansas for the summer, and it's like, you're trying to figure out, will Ava and Gil work it out? Can they like patch things up from the past? And then that you have some of the characters questioning, does Gil have his priorities straight so that he can direct this band? That's his job pretty much there for the summer. And then they're questioning, is he going to stay in Kansas for the summer, or is he going to go back to New York City? And so this is perfect for music lovers. If you love music, you're going to love this because Gil is a composer who is directing a men's band, and he establishes a youth band, and he soon realizes what means most to him. And I love that. It was a beautiful small town. Everyone knows everybody. Everybody's helping everybody. Ava really cared also about her family, and that was really great to see. The characters are in their early 20s, and so it was really nice to see like them all working together as a family. The parents were very involved, and I like to see that. The faith content in this was great. There were a lot of prayers and verses discussed. I also really like the parts that were centered around the youth band. You don't see that a lot, but the children were just so adorable, the details of them. And yeah, I just thought it was really inspiring to see this sweet little band come to life and just how happy the children were. And so overall, this romance was sweet. The ending was uplifting. I really enjoy Kim Vogel-Sawyer's writing. Like, it is what it is. You already know. Boone's Hollow got me like, hey, I need to read more of her. 4 stars. I hope you pick this up. It'll be linked below in the description. So, yeah. So, the next book I read was Beaches, Bungalows, and Burglaries. I had a whole vlog on this, so I'm going to try to be as brief as I can. But my girl Caitlin at Pride and Paperback, she told me about this, and I'm hooked, y'all. She knew me. She knew I'd love this because Southern mystery. Hey, girl, hey. So this is about Mae West. She's a recently divorced woman from her husband, Paul, and he pretty much committed a big Ponzi scheme. Like, they had the FBI and everything in this. She was raided, like, went to jail, this whole thing. Didn't know what was going to go down. She ends up getting out, thankfully, because they proved she wasn't involved. She didn't get to inherit nothing from the divorce except this crazy campground. And it's hilarious. I laughed so much at this because she thinks, okay, well, at least I got this campground. Let's go out here. And she kind of high maintenance, but not like the high maintenance that's annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's wanting to learn and all that stuff. And so she goes to the campground. Like, she goes to that campground. She's like, what is this? Because this campground looks nothing like the flyer she had. And the flyer was like, 20 years old. So she gets her, she's like, this is not what I signed up for. And so I was dying laughing about it. It was so funny. But she gets there and has to try to make the best of it. She's wanting to try to fix this place up. None of the residents there are liking her because Paul pretty much did them all dirty. But things get crazy when Paul pretty much show up dead. Paul shows up dead, and they all like, who did this? Because everybody wanted to kill Paul pretty much. Like, you got his ex-wife sitting here. You got all these tenants and people who didn't like him. So the mystery is like, who killed Paul? And so that's a Book Lover Amanda version. That's it. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. And she's really just intrigued. She's intent on selling the campground. But then it's like, she starts getting attached and really wanting to fix it up. And so there's some great side characters in here. We had some great Southern references and just lots of fun in this. I love this. This was a cute, cozy mystery. It was clean, not even any language that I remember. I think they had an abbreviation of something, but it was nothing. I thought it was great. 4 stars. I'm continuing on for sure. So glad that I bought the first 4 in the series because your girl is going to be reading it. And the audiobooks, if y'all can find the audiobooks at your library, this is all on Kindle Unlimited, by the way. So, but the audiobooks are phenomenal. I listened to a little bit on this on audio. Y'all, really quick to listen to, obviously, because they're so short, but the narrator was fabulous. Just really a good time to listen. So check your library. I know my library has like a lot of the audiobooks, so I do plan on listening to a lot of these as well. But this is a 29+ book series, so it's kind of a lot of investment, but they're short, you know? Just anytime you're in the mood for a cute, cozy mystery, hey. I should have said this is also set in Kentucky, so that's why it has some really fun Southern references, so yeah. So I'm so glad, Caitlin, girl, you sold me on this. So Chrissy also read it, and she had a fun time. So yeah, I think a lot of people will enjoy this. And Lindsay, she picked it up too. Influenced, hashtag influenced. Yeah, Lindsay Lemus, she also picked this up. So, and she had a fun time with it as well. So yeah, I give this 4 stars, and I can't wait to read more. And then after that, I also picked up A Bone to Pick, which this series was also a recommendation from Caitlin at Pride and Paperback. The first book I give 3 stars. It was fine, but this one I liked a lot better. So I don't feel like we definitely didn't have as much language in this one, and not a lot of like weird other references. But I give this 4 stars. This was a fun continuation. Book 2 in the Aurora Tea Garden series. Yeah, definitely enjoyed this more in book 1. I'm gonna be definitely continuing on. There is some mild language, but it didn't bother me like at all, really. There was like maybe 1 or 2 words, so this is overall clean. I had a lot of fun with this. Aurora is basically the soul. This was fun because I love like when someone inherits something and you're like, what? So she pretty much inherits $500,000 or plus and a home from a member of their previous member society club thing that they had. Murder member society. What am I saying? Murder club. Whatever. Real Murders Society, whatever it was their murder club where they like, it was a murder club. I don't think that's on it. It was their club where they discussed murders in the first book. Okay. Real Murders Society. I don't remember what it was. Okay. Basically their group that I talked about in book 1. Okay. And so that lady had passed away. She was elderly. So she had passed away. I think she may have been sick. And so she lives her with everything. And everybody's like, girl, why'd you get this? Because you didn't have nothing to do with her. And so, you know, once she finds something crazy in the home, it's like, okay, now we know why you got this. So there's something that she finds in the home. I ain't gonna say what, but she tries to solve the mystery behind everything that's happened. She finds this crazy thing in the house. And she's like wavering also in her love life, her career, and trying to figure out all this crazy stuff. And so, like with the inheritance and all that. So yeah, this is quirky, fast-paced, a lot of fun, and I'm gonna continue on. So yeah, I think book 3 is at my library, so I'll probably just pick it up from there on audio because the audiobooks on these are awesome. But you know, these covers are great too. So this was also a gift from my sweet friend Book Talks with Mrs. Thomas. So thank you so much again for sending me this as a gift. I loved it. And y'all, if you like cozy mysteries, these are fun. These are just entertaining, you know, that's what you want. It's what you want for the time. I'm here. So, all right. What am I doing? This video gonna be so long. All right, we got one more book. That's it. That's it because we already talked about Wishtress. So, y'all, I already talked about this as well. So let's try. I did a whole video on this, but To Win a Prince by Tony Shallow. Y'all, this is the continuation from book 1, which is In Search of a Prince. Like I said, I already got a whole video on this, but I was on Tony Shallow's launch team. I'm so glad I was. This was so much fun. This was my first launch team ever. I was like, hey, I was just like, really? So it was a lot of fun. I loved being able to just share about a book that I was genuinely interested in and I genuinely loved. Give this 5 stars. In Search of a Prince was great. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. I love this a lot more. I love both of them. They're great. But this one, I don't know, something about this romance and the faith in this was just in my feels. Like just, oh, I loved it so much. So this is following Iris, which is Brielle's best friend from the first story. And so this is faith-filled, heartwarming, all those good things. It has a beautiful redemptive salvation story in the Lord, and y'all, my heart, I was so full. I loved it. So Iris, she has her fashion business. She's like an expert in fashion. And then we got Econ. He is like this royalty guy who has his title stripped from him for crimes he committed against the crown. Econ has a pretty light sentencing, but he still has to do community service, and he has to be Iris's assistant in her business to help her. And things get crazy from there. Okay. Econ, he doesn't really know anything any different than the royal life. He is extremely arrogant at the beginning. He's like, oh, commoner life, hey, what? No, that's not for me. So he soon realizes that being a commoner ain't so bad. And I loved it. I loved his transformation. I loved seeing him and Iris work together. I love the romance in this. The faith content is wonderful. It's wonderful. Just so good. I already talked a lot about it, like I said in that video. But yeah, Iris is a perfect example of a strong Christian woman who really cared to give him a second chance. And I just had a lot of fun. You know, Econ's dad, he was not nice, and I loved everything about like learning his background, Econ's background with his family, and like seeing where he ended up. It was just beautiful. Beautiful redemptive story in Christ. Tony really knows how to write these faith-filled, in-depth characters. And just beautiful stories. Y'all gotta read them. I mean, I've already ordered my copies, honey. They coming. So I did not have physical copies. So, you know, that's one good thing about like NetGalley and stuff is like you can read the arcs, and if you really love them, you can buy them. So it's like, hey, order from Baker Publishing. That's where you need to get them. And the culture in these stories are just so beautiful as well. I've already talked about that. This is like set in a small African village. I love this. So I'm so grateful to Tony Shiloh, NetGalley, Bethany House, all that good stuff. I'm just so grateful that I was able to read this and honestly review it. Y'all, you know I got transparency, but this was 5-star for sure. I loved it so much. So yeah, but if you want to know more, please watch the extended version in the video review linked here. Okay, so yeah, y'all, your girl, it says 45 minutes on this clock right here, so I am tired. You probably ain't gonna see this tomorrow because I gotta get in bed. I don't know when I'm gonna edit it, so it might be Tuesday or Wednesday. But yeah, hey y'all, I just thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video, whether you skipped around in the timestamps or not. Hey, I'm just glad you're here. I hope you'll subscribe and stick around. Thank you so much for all the support on my channel. I just love y'all so much. As always, I always say that. So let me know, have you read any of these books? What was your favorite book that you read this month? I'd love to know in the comments below. Make sure you thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, all the good stuff, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.